Welcome to 1111 at the Garden, where we are all sages. Took me 2 weeks to come up with that. I'm Brad Thompson. It's good to be back. We're going to start the service now with this song from America. On the first part of the journey, I was looking at all the life. There were plants and birds and rocks and things. There was sand and hills and rings. The first thing I met was a fly with a buzz in the sky with no clouds. The heat was hot and the ground was dry, but the air was full of sound. In the desert sun, my skin began to turn red. After 3 days in the desert fun, I was looking at a riverbed, and the story it told of a river that flowed made me sad to think it was dead. And I've been through the desert on a horse with no name. It felt good to be out of the rain. In the desert, you can't remember your name, 'cause there ain't no one for to give you no pain. I let the horse run free, 'cause the desert turned to sea. There were plants and birds and rocks and things. There was sand and hills and rings. The ocean is a desert with its life underground and a perfect disguise above. Under the cities lies a heart made of ground, but the humans will give no love. And I've been through the desert on a horse with no name. It felt good to be out of the rain. In the desert, you can't remember your name, 'cause there ain't no one for to give you no pain. La 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 That's a good one.
Vertically challenged. Good morning, all. All of us here with bright shining faces, and those whose faces we can't see, but you're welcome too. Let's say our welcome candle together. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. It doesn't matter. Ours is not a caravan of despair. Come, even if you've broken your vows 1,000 times. Come, yet again.
Thanks, Sharon. Group, it is time to stand and sing a song together, if you would. We have a special guest speaker today, Lori Silvestri, and she picked all of these songs, and I thought it was cool that she picked this song because back 15 or so years ago, we used to sing this in our little hymnal like all the time. So it's wonderful to bring this song back. I think it's a blast. So please join us. Here we go. Right here. There's a reason for the sunshine and sky, and there's a reason why I'm feeling so high. Must be the season when that love light shines all around us. So let that feeling wrap you deep inside and set you feeling where your love can't hide, and then go stealing through the moonlit nights with your love. Chorus now, let's get it. And let your love go like a mountain stream, and let your love grow with the smallest of dreams, and let your love show. And you know what I mean, it's the season. Just let your love fly like a bird on the wing, and let your love bind you to all living things, and let your love shine. And you know what I mean, that's the reason. Verse 2. There's a reason for the warm, sweet nights, and there's a reason for the candle lights. Must be the season when those love lights shine all around us. So let that wonder take you deep into space and lay you under. It's love and embrace, just feel the thunder as it warms your face. You can't hold back. Just let your love flow like a mountain stream, and let your love grow with the smallest of dreams, and let your love show. And you know what I mean, it's the season, yeah. Just let your love fly like a bird on the wing, and let your love bind you to all living things, and let your love shine. And you know what I mean, that's the season. One more time, yeah. Just let your love flow like a mountain stream, and let your love grow with the smallest of dreams, and let your love show. And you know what I mean, it's the season. Just let your love fly like a bird on the wing, and let your love bind you to all living things, and let your love shine. And you know what I mean, that's the reason. The great hymnists of our time, the Bellamy Brothers, of course. Would y'all take a moment now and offer one another a sign of peace? Let your love flow. Come on. I got it.
Everybody, we'll let you take your seats. It's so good to see folks here, and so good to see you all. Good to have you all online with us as well. And I hope you took a moment to register your attendance there online, and there's an offering button there. And we're about to enter our offering time here as we pass the plate while we pass the time and listen to the music, which will be an important song that's coming up. So I hope you'll have a chance to listen to that. I am glad to be back after a couple of weeks. I want to say a special thank you to Sharm, I know, is out of town visiting family. Did I see Todd? Todd's not here today, not here this morning. But Todd and Sharm, Todd Kirk and Sharm Robarts, both speaking last week. And they did a great job, and so I really always appreciate them stepping in. And then this morning, Lori Silvestri, who is going to be our guest speaker. Number one, I wanted to have a fun guest speaker, just because I didn't get back in until Friday, and I decided, you know what, I'm not going to work on anything, which is the first time I've ever done that. I've always worked up a sermon. If I was going to be here, I'd preach, and it's like, no, I'm not going to. So it's really great to have Lori. Lori and I go way back. I'd known this since over the last 6 months or so or more, but we ran into each other when they started visiting every now and then at 11:11, and it was like, wait a minute. You were in the cohort group that I was supervising back when they were studying in seminary and being ordained as a deacon. And so that's a testament to my ability to supervise. Because at least one out of the 9 that were in that group stayed in the ministry. No, actually they all did, so that was great. But so we're so glad to have Lori Silvestri here, who is a deacon like myself, ordained in the United Methodist Church, and who also started something called Soul Shine, which is a nonprofit, but also is her Substack piece. Do you call that? It's not really a blog. Is it a blog? Kind of like, yeah, it's just Substack writings. And if you ever check them out, I gave you a link in the email that I sent out that most of you should be getting, because you should be on the subscription list. And some fun stuff. But here's the fun thing. She takes secular songs and always makes connections with them, and that was something we began to sort of have fun talking about, and so she brings her perspective to that this morning, so I couldn't be more excited to have her here. And then finally, I wanted to thank somebody very specially, Avanel. Where are you, Avanel? Right here in the middle. Avanel, would you wave your hands? Avanel. Now, I don't know how many of you drink coffee when you get here, especially when it's 102 outside. I'm not sure if we should be doing an iced coffee stand instead. But Avanel has been bringing coffee and helping to make sure we have coffee every Sunday for years now. And Avanel needs a big hand for that, yes. That being said, she's retiring from that, and we have a coffee fund, and would love to see people contribute to that coffee fund. We'll just have a basket out there, or you can see me. It costs anywhere from $25 to $40 to get coffee here every Sunday for folks. And so we don't need you to necessarily always pick it up, although you're welcome to volunteer to do that too. But we want to get that coffee fund started so we can keep the coffee coming, and that way we'll have it either delivered or we'll pay for it and order it and pick it up, that kind of thing. So, but we appreciate everyone else doing that. If no one gives any money and contributes to it, there'll be a lot of Sundays where we don't have coffee. And that's okay too, but I'm just putting that out there. So, if you put it out there, it will happen, right? Yeah, it'll happen, yeah. Bronson, did you have a question?
I looked all over for the basket this morning.
Yeah, coffee basket, okay. Well, while y'all are giving your offering and listening to the great music, I'll go put a basket out there, right next to the coffee. And then you can do that, thank you. And you can start with a big amount. You can just put a big amount in there. Because you've obviously been looking for it for weeks. So there's a couple of weeks to catch up with. All right. So good to see you all here and be back. And so as the music's getting ready to start, I'm going to invite Lori and Adrian to come up, and they're going to take and pass these baskets back and forth.
And normally this would be kind of a Kairos meditative song, but it's not. Rock.
illusion. I'm amazed what they want me to believe. After all is said and done, where is the justice? I'm amazed like a revolution. I'm amazed at the lack of faith. I'm amazed that we reject him. I'm amazed we accept in its place, like the rhythm of the earth and the rhythm of the ages, like the rhythm. I get disrupted. I'm Yeah.
Hi. It's so good to see you guys. I love the song. You did an excellent job this week.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. I'm very excited about the vibe we're creating here. And we're doing some new things this morning with our Kairos. So I want to do a little bit of an introduction, and then we'll dive right into that moment that just kind of belongs to all our hearts. So today we'll be using a meditation provided to us by Howard Thurman. Who's familiar? Good, excellent. He's very much so has the same heart that we have. He was born in 1899, African-American author, theologian, Christian mystic, civil rights leader. He actually was a co-founder of one of the first integrated interfaith religious churches in San Francisco. So very much so part of who we are. So thank you, Lori, for providing this for us this morning. We'll begin with our singing bowl. We're going to be using this a little bit more regularly here. We'll meditate, and then we'll close with our singing bowl. So the sound will kind of be our message to come back into the space. And I've got a question for you all to ponder while we meditate. What is in your inner altar? What exactly is the angel wielding the flame, the sword? What is it guarding, protecting, and keeping safe? there is in every person an inward sea. And in that sea, there is an island. And on that island, there rests an altar. And standing guard before that altar is the angel with a flaming sword. And nothing can get by that angel to be placed on that altar unless it has the mark of your inner authority. Nothing passes the angel with that flaming sword. Nothing is placed on that altar unless it can be a part of the fluid area of your consent. And here rests the crucial link between you and the eternal. Thank you.
Hear these words, the gift of story, from Matthew, the 18th chapter, verses 2 through 4. Then Jesus called a little child over to sit among the disciples and said, I assure you that if you don't turn your lives around and become like this little child, you will definitely not enter the kingdom of heaven. Those who humble themselves like this little child will be the greatest of the kingdom of heaven.
Good morning, 1111. I'm really excited to be here this morning. This is such a beautiful sanctuary in the world to share a message with you. And that reflection by Kagan and Howard Thurman is so powerful. And the music is just outstanding here. And as you heard, music is a really big part of my spirituality. So this is just really an overwhelming experience for me. So the songs this morning that you've heard have all been leading somewhere. First, the spiritual journey on a horse with no name. We're all pilgrims on that journey. And then we let our loves flow like a mountain stream through us, in and through us. Our God love flows so freely when we are young and childlike. And then as we do life, we get disrupted by all of those things, all of those lyrics in the song that you heard, the TV stations and what they're saying and what people want you to believe and what they say about you, and all of that stuff disrupts us. And then something changes in life, and we seek for something higher, a higher ground, a higher love. And that journey, it brings us full circle, and then we finally remember what we've forgotten. Like this little girl, right here. She's about 3 years old. And she is so excited to be a big sister. And she has just met her newborn little brother. Her parents have just brought him home from the hospital. And she's just doing all of the goo goo gaga baby stuff that we do with babies. And she says to her mama and daddy, she says, Mommy and Daddy, can I take him into his bedroom and spend some time with him alone with the door shut? No parents? And Mom and Dad are like, well, I don't know about this, but she's just so convincing to them, they finally agree. And so they take the newborn baby into the bedroom and they lay him in his bassinet. And the little girl escorts him to the door and slowly shuts it behind them. And of course, you know, they're helicopter parents hovering around this newborn baby, and they've got their ears up to the door waiting to see what unfolds in that room. They hear the little girl's footsteps quietly shuffling over to where the bassinet is. And then they hear this amazing thing coming out of their daughter's mouth. They hear her say, "Tell me about God. I've almost forgotten." And that's what she wanted, to spend time with her little brother. That's what she wanted to hear from him, about God. And so this is a story of forgetting and remembering, and it's brought to us by a theologian by the name of Marcus Borg. He tells this story in one of his books, and it reminds us of the childlike faith that Jesus invites us to. Jesus isn't warning us about hell in that scripture. Jesus is offering us an invitation to remember where we came from, whose we are, and who we will always belong to. We're called to follow. Jesus asks us to follow every day. Come to me. I want you here with me. And we forget what this really means to us. We were born knowing. If only we could remember. But life changes us. We grow older. We grow wiser. We grow in all sorts of ways. Not all of them are good either. And then we think we know it all. We have it all figured out. And in all of that knowing, we realize we really don't know anything. And our spiritual journey of knowing, and then unknowing, and then re-knowing is this part of being human. There's not a particular strategy or an instruction manual on how to do this. The timing, the details, the events and the outcomes of our own particular spiritual journeys, they're very individual to us. But regardless of those particularities about us, we all walk on a narrow path. Jesus describes our pilgrimage like this. He says, "The gate is narrow, and few are able to walk on its thin path." But Hindu scripture says it like this. They refer to that path as a razor's edge. And not all of us are going to be able to keep our balance on that very thin path, on that razor thin line, or make it through that narrow gate. But that actually has more to do with us. It has to do with our steadfastness, our faithfulness, our intentionality, with our ability to resist those things that disrupt us in life, those magnetizing forces of the world that really try hard to pull us off of that thin, narrow path. But here, earth, this is where we're planted. This is where we love and play and have families, and where we work and learn and fail and succeed. It's where we're nourished. It's where we live and move and have our being. We have to figure out how to live here, this earth, in this materialistic, consumer-driven, success-focused, politically divided, and polarized world, and stay on the narrow path. Folks, that narrow path is treacherous, and the journey is so difficult. So I love the way that this author of this book here explains his spiritual journey, or this story he's written about a spiritual journey. It might be his. I don't speak French. So I have a little friend who is from France, and she recorded his name for me so I could practice saying it My mouth doesn't make French sounds. So we're going to listen to her recording, and she's going to introduce this author to you. Maybe I'll have to try. Antoine Toussaint Saint-Exupéry, something like that. I'm sorry. Okay, he tells the story of a spiritual journey, like I said, maybe his own. In this book, La Petite Prince, or The Little Prince. Maybe some of you are familiar with this book. It's actually one of the best-selling children's books of all times. And some say it should be read as a child. It should be read again as an adult, and then it should be read again in the second half of life. So the author, he was a pilot. He actually crashed his plane 3 times. The first time he did it in 1935, he crashed in Libya in the Sahara Desert, where he trudged through the sand and the heat for 3 days trying to find help. And from this and other life experiences, he brings us the story of the Little Prince, which is also a story about forgetting and remembering again. And this book is really complex, and there's a lot of storylines and threads to pull. I'm going to pull at one thread this morning, and I encourage you to read this book. It's a great one to figure out the rest of the storylines. So the pilot in The Little Prince, he wakes up in the Sahara Desert after his plane crashes. And when he opens his eyes, there in front of him is this little prince. And the little prince, he's little, and he's mysterious, and he's inexplicable. And he's worldly, and he's also simplistic, and he's childlike, and he's also an old soul. In The Little Prince, he's laughter, and he's wonder, and he's awe, and he's amazement. He brings life to this otherwise unbearable and traumatic situation. So the prince, he invites the pilot to reflect on where he's been in life and where he's going. You see, the pilot used to be this imaginative and creative young little boy, and he wanted to become an artist. He thought about the jungle every day of his life, every waking moment, jungle, 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 and he learned all about it. His first drawing made with colored pencils was a picture of a boa constrictor who had swallowed a wild beast. It's an elephant, actually. But he's so proud of his creation. Oh my gosh, he thinks it's his masterpiece. Here it is. Oh, go back. There it is, right there. His adults don't get it. Maybe you are sitting there in your seat right now critiquing his artwork. His adults say it looks like a hat. What do you think? Even at this tender age, the things that people say about him begin to change who he is. And slowly, he loses track of his belovedness, that God spark that exists inside of him. As the judgments and the critiques and the suggestions and the what-ifs start pouring into him and filling him up, that immortal diamond, the God spark inside of him gets buried underneath all of that stuff, all of that gunk. And the layers of dirt and debris pile up within him, and he's forgetting what he's created to be. Henry Nouwen speaks to this forgetting and remembering paradox that we embody in his book called The Life of the Beloved. Henry says this: "You are not what you do, although you do a lot. You are not what you have collected in terms of things and friendships and connections, although you might have many. You are not the popularity that you've received. You're not the success of your work. You are not what people say about you, whether they speak well or whether they speak poorly about you. All of these things that keep you quite busy, quite occupied, quite preoccupied, are not telling you the truth about who you are." Henry reminds us that we are the beloved daughters and sons of God, and that God says to us, "I have called you from all eternity, and you are engraved from all eternity on the palms of my hands. You belong to me, and I love you with an everlasting love. And I wonder how different we might be if we actually remember that message every moment of every day of our lives, that we're so much more. Most of us probably have this mental or a theological awareness that our bodies are containers for the holy, right? But do you ever dig any deeper? Have you ever wondered about that God spark that exists within you? Like, where is it exactly? What color is it? What shape is it? And once we locate it, how in the world do we clean it off, shine it up? And when we do dust it off, what will we find? What have we forgotten about ourselves and about God? I've discovered some of what I have forgotten recently. I explored my childhood God experiences in spiritual direction, and I was really amazed to discover the first inkling of my call into ordained ministry. When I was a little girl, I used to stand on the front steps of the church next door and sing Delta Dawn into my jump rope's wooden handle on the church steps, and I didn't care who heard me or how loud I sang or how off-key it was. Like now, I'm a little self-conscious and I resist the judgment and the critique, But I did that all the time. And I'm pretty sure I only sang the chorus over and over. Delta Dawn, what's that flower you have on? Could it be a faded rose from days gone by? And did I hear you say he was to meet me here today to take me to that mansion in the sky? Thank you. I'm positive my God spark was not telling me to be a singer, but telling me to be on the church steps, right? So I didn't care about the denomination of the church either. It was a church of God, by the way. And I didn't critique the theology, like heaven is right here around me right now, right? It's not some faraway place. And I didn't bristle at the masculine language for God. I just sang my truth. And my voice just echoed off of the church steps, and I wonder, if I lived out of that belovedness, how different my message may have sounded all these years. And I wonder about you. And I wonder about your childhood and your childlike connection to the Holy Mystery. What are the things that God whispered deep into your heart? Secrets that only your heart knows. There we go. Secrets that are hidden by the false self and forgotten for a lifetime. So many of us have buried these secrets of our heart. And the pilot, he did this too. And he traded his artist's dream to fly airplanes. He chose a life with order and control. He had his hands on the rudder, the wheel, so to speak. It was a lonely life flying solo and mistrusting people, and he acted exactly like those adults who had crushed him. And then he crashed. And oftentimes that's what it takes for us to realize that we've fallen off of the narrow path, a major life shakeup, second half of life, wisdom, spiritual dryness, a crash. So the pilot, he has fallen off of his narrow path, and he's lonely, and he's lost, and he's thirsty, and he's hungry, and he has no idea how to get home. And the little prince shows up, and the little prince meets him right where he's at and invites him to draw pictures in the desert. And he remembers who he is then. The pilot rediscovers his creative and artistic self, and he remembers his connection with the Holy Mystery. And in returning to his childlike ways, the pilot begins to tilt his head differently. He gazes at the world through different eyes, and it becomes his spiritual practice. He rediscovers wonder and awe and amazement, and he sees beauty in a barren desert, He discovers the spring that's hidden underground. He sees something shining. He hears silence. He hears singing in the silence. He finds his belovedness. He discovers holy love everywhere and always. Honestly, being awed in nature is pretty easy, right? I mean, looking at the setting sun, the setting Texas sun, all of the colors, it's amazing, it's breathtaking. Or when you stand and face the ocean and you witness the undulating breath of the ocean coming in waves, makes you realize that you're just a little part of something so much bigger, right? Being awed by people, that's a little more difficult. And being awed and amazed by difficult people, this is impossible, right? But amazement and wonder includes the capacity to be in awe of humanity, of your own humanity, actually. Cultivating a practice of radical amazement allows us to see the beauty flowing in and through us daily, like the way the cream swirls in your coffee, or the intricacies of an orange peel, or the way your pet, your dog, your cat, your leopard gecko can look into your eyes and see right into you, right straight into your soul. This is how children look at the world, with radical amazement. We can do it too. We just forgot. We forgot how. And when we remember, it's so worth it, especially when you realize that you can marvel at the face of a difficult human being with the same awe and wonder and amazement that you can get from a mountaintop view. Awe and wonder requires us not to forget ourselves, but to remember our belovedness, to embrace our imago Dei, to become beloved, to become grounded in our belovedness. And then you recognize this connection with the world, how we are interconnected with everything that's created. And in sacred awe, we become a part of that story that unfolds around us. So friends, what might unfold if we individually and collectively tilt our heads in radical amazement, gaze at the world with different eyes as a means of staying on the narrow path? Isn't this what it means to see rightly with your heart? To have childlike faith? And to remember and embrace our God spark. After all, each one of us are tattooed from eternity onto the palms of God's hands. Thanks be to God. I actually have one final slide. This is a QR code. I'm proud of myself. I made this. This is a Spotify playlist, a link to a Spotify playlist that I made, and it's got the 11:11 music on it from today. So if you have Spotify and you're interested in reliving this message this morning through music, if music speaks into your soul like it does mine, there you go. Thank you so much for letting me be here.
Keep on learning. Soldiers
We love our band. We'll never get sick of them. Truly, it's one of my favorite parts of our service. It is my pleasure again to provide you all with our benediction. If we will stand. So today I invite you to be brave, to be childlike, to look deep and uncover the secrets and the truths that lie within you, to seek out beauty, the holy love that rests quietly beneath the surface, waiting to be found and remembered. Do not let the what-ifs of this world steal your God spark, your joy, your wonder, and walk tenderly upon the narrow path of curiosity. Discover life and love. You belong, you are loved, and you are love. Have a wonderful week.